You're listening to Season 6 of the Three Angry Giant Fans of the Jet Fan podcast, sponsored by Carolina Beer Temple. Join us weekly as we complain about our team's dismal performances, the shenanigans in the NFL, and other assorted nonsense. We also give our pet peeves and answer listener questions. Check us out on YouTube. Go to our website, angryfootballfans.com, and subscribe to our podcast wherever you get yours. We have a lot of fun doing this. We appreciate all the support. Go Jets.
Decision making on the 4th and 1 early in the second quarter to go for it.
Yeah, I just felt like, man, we had momentum to get up 14. I felt like we had a good call. And where were we at yard line wise there? Yeah, I think the feeling was, man, let's be aggressive. To get up 14, I was just watching the way our defense was playing. And, the turnover on our end resulting in a touchdown. And outside of that, man, I thought we did a good job in containing them. There'll be a number of things when we watch the tape I'll look at and critique and pay close attention to, but it was a hard-fought game, and we didn't do enough to win it.
So that's the recap of Sean Payton's press conference, where he's asked the question about going for it on the 4th and 1 early in the game, up 7-0, and he gives an odd response in my book. He says he saw his defense playing well, and just wanted the momentum. And then he talks about the turnover being unfortunate that happened after that. Well, if you had a 10-point lead, you had a little cushion there if your quarterback makes a mistake. But, we've been preaching about this all year, guys. I thought that was the turning point. We all talked about it being the turning point of that game. And then once the weather turned bad, I mean, really, they gave up 7 points, that defense, and that was it. And it wasn't good enough.
Yeah, I saw these comments, and I also saw him sort of allude to the fact that, man, if I had known a winter storm was coming, I might have done something differently. He acted like that made a difference in that call, which it absolutely shouldn't have. It's just one of those ones, when Tony Romo says, man, I don't know, I'd have probably kicked that one. You fucked that up, because that's
Payton,
bad.
What an arrogant asshole. I mean, I saw, I read up on a couple of the articles today. I wanted 14-0. Okay, Payton, sure. But you weren't on the 1 foot line, like whether it's score or nothing. Yeah, right. Like, these coaches don't even think for a second, well, wait a minute. What if we don't fucking get it? What if we don't make the first down? So let me just, you're okay with 7-0 as opposed to 10-0, no, Payton? I wanted 14-0. That's the most ridiculous response. And furthermore, I don't know if you guys, I saw a reverse angle of that play, and what pissed me off even further was did you guys see the Denver sideline? So it's obviously 4th and 1. They drop Stidham back. He throws the incomplete pass, and as the ball hits the ground, you see like 2 coaches and a couple players on the Denver sidelines, like giving the incomplete, like in other words, like he dropped it. The guy's pointing to the ground. I'm like, what does it fucking matter? It's 4th down, you assholes. Yeah. They're acting like it was like a 3rd down play or something, that you had another down. These morons these are coaches on the Denver sidelines pointing to the ground like, he didn't catch that. I'm like, what difference does it make? It's a turnover on downs, you schmucks.
They actually would have been. They should have been saying catch. It would have been better for Denver if he had caught the ball.
Well, my issue was, how are you putting that play in the hands of a backup quarterback? Yeah. I mean, if it's Bo Nix, I would still think he should kick it, but I could at least understand. Bo Nix could probably run for a first down, or you trust him. This guy hasn't played in 3 years. You know how important that play is? And you're telling me you don't know about the weather? Get out of here. Wilson knew the damn weather was coming.
Well, I'll get to my comments on a little bit on that offshoot of that in just a minute, Novak. But we are the Three Angry Giant Fans of the Jet Fan Podcast. Your host Scott, Giant Mike, Cardone, and Angry Jets fan Novak, and we're here to recap the championship games. Basically, one pod left in what we call the regular season, because I think we'll probably take next week off. We'll talk about that in a bit. But before we get too deep, let's give a shout out. This one's in New Jersey. So it's hello, man. It's spelled Mantua, but I think it's Mantua. Population 15,000. It's a township named after Mantua, Italy. And the Winter Olympics, with the Winter Olympics being there, it's the home of Tara Lipinski. It's also the site of Tall Pine State Reserve that was originally a forest that became an asparagus field and then a golf course.
Sure.
Mantua.
Mantua, but I think it's pronounced Mantua.
So say,
well, I'm glad we didn't ask you to pronounce the county as it's in, because you would have effed that up royally.
Oh, yeah.
You would have said Gloucester? It's
Gloucester.
I think we've had that one before, the county on the pod here. Yeah. I was going to say, I've heard of most every town in New Jersey, and that's one. When you met, I'm like, where the hell is that? It's got to be somewhere. And I wonder why. It's in
you started with the man, and I was like, he could go Manasquan, he could go Manalapan, he could go a lot of different ways here, and it was Mantua, which I've never heard of.
No.
Yeah, it looks like a suburb of Philly, actually. Like it's right there.
Yeah, it is.
That makes more sense. That's why Cardone and I would not know that.
Yeah, we wouldn't know the hell what's going on down there. No, that's like when growing up in Central Jersey, even like that part of that was like that may as well been Virginia. You know, like we didn't even know what went on in South Jersey.
We were like an hour and a half from Philly. I never went there ever.
No.
Right?
No reason to.
Not going there.
So we ended up having one good playoff game this week, one pretty shitty playoff game this week. And, we were already talking about the Pats Denver game. So, we'll continue on that. And, I had an issue, with we were talking just then about some of the commentary, and Romo pissed me off again, because Romo started off that game talking about the genius of Payton's play calling, that first touchdown. What a play call. I've not seen better play calls of that in a long time. And it was simply a guy doing a cut in the end zone and then going out and being open. However, I didn't hear Romo talk about the shitty play call design on that fourth down play. I didn't hear Romo talk about the shitty play call design on that play where really the Patriots should have had a touchdown if the officials didn't blow the whistle. For some reason, you're not supposed to blow the whistle. They blew the whistle. But Tony Romo, for the first quarter of that game, had Sean Payton as the best play caller ever in the NFL, and Jared Stidham as basically Kurt Warner incarnate.
What has happened to Romo? I feel like he was becoming one of my favorite broadcasters. I just a couple of years ago, I thought he was one of, he and Nance made a good team. I'm like, I really like Romo's commentary. I think he's spot on. I found, and now he is Collinsworth-esque, like in terms of his inability to just stop talking. He can't. He just doesn't shut up.
Yeah, he
it's impossible. But yeah, it's just, his adjectives and his just the way he lauds these guys for no matter what's going on, it's insufferable, just like Collinsworth does. These guys, they need to learn how to have a couple seconds of dead air in between plays. It's okay.
I honestly think he's made the money he needs to make, and he has just mailed it in, and does not do any prep. He probably looks at some shit like an hour before the game and goes, all right, I got to talk up Payton. I got this backup quarterback, and I don't know, I'll throw something in there about Drake May. Let's go. Let's do this thing. He's awful all of a sudden.
Yeah. I was more prepared going for final exams at Ramapo College than this guy, like preparing for a game. Yeah.
He's pretty insufferable right now, and I don't feel like it's always been that way. Like there was a time we liked this guy, right? But I just don't understand. I guess it's sort of when you become a network guy, they tell you, hey, like you gotta, even though this game might not be appealing or this player might not be appealing, you gotta kind of make it interesting for the fan. And he tends to take that and just run with it. Like this whole thing about telling us for 3.5 quarters how great Jacksonville is. Well, and just while the game is on, like, shut up, we're watching the game. And then we had to hear about Stidham until about halftime of the game yesterday. It was like, oh, I'll tell you what, this guy's good. And to someone's point on our text thread, they were like, what? How could he know that? Was he looking at 4-year-old film?
Like, yeah, at one point he said, that accuracy he has really shows up on tape, and I'm like, the guy hasn't thrown a fucking pass since 2024. What tape are you looking at? High school?
It makes no sense, and he just says nonsensical things like, I think the Broncos have a chance today. Well, of course they do, dude. I mean, everyone has a chance. God.
So we talked a little bit about Payton's decision there to go for the field goal, but guys, what is interesting to me, and I know Novak is flustered with the Patriots actually making the Super Bowl, but the Patriots have actually played now 3 pretty poor games in a row and are getting away with it. I mean, Drake May's making mistakes. They don't look very good. They're on the cusp of losing all these games, but because of the path that they have, it's become easy.
They are getting in the Super Bowl on the heels of the 2 worst quarterback plays I've seen in my life in a playoff game. The C.J. Stroud ridiculous interception, and then that like chest pass that Stidham was doing on his 15-yard line. What are we doing? That's the only touchdown they had. Like, oh, come on.
By the way, there were like 30 different things going on that play. The Stidham fumble / intentional grounding / backward pass, a touchdown that wasn't. That was a wild play on that. But to your point, Novak, I mean, this Patriot team, I cannot believe we have to watch the New England Patriots in another Super Bowl. It's really a nightmare come true. I mean, and the alternative was watching Stidham. So now I don't know, the NFL and the networks and all these people, not to say that there was, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it and break down a little further about as far as, some of the questionable things that happened in the game, perhaps. Scott, I know you're probably got a couple things lined up as far as some officiating stuff. I mean, shit, we might as well keep that trend going and throughout for the rest of the couple pods we have left for this season. But who wanted, did they want Jaron Stidham in the Super Bowl? Hell no.
Absolutely.
So May, Vrabel, and the Patriots are a little bit better draw there. A lot better draw, actually. Not to say that they got they're there on the strength of that, but my God, this is a bizarre run for this Patriot team, to get to be in the Super Bowl, these last 2 weeks.
Well, I see online the Patriots fans are spinning it as this is the toughest road any team's ever had to go to get to the Super Bowl because they played the number 1, 2, and 4 defense or something.
Hell out of here.
Something, I don't know, but you can clearly see watching these games. I mean, if these teams both play at the same level they have been, this thing's over at halftime. Seattle is going to roll this game. I'm not saying I think that's going to happen, but if they come out and bumble around for a quarter and a half, you're going to have Sam Darnold as a Super Bowl MVP is right on the tee. Sorry, Novak.
Well, I don't think Novak wins anyway in this Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, pardon.
No, I just I couldn't. I was talking to Greg earlier, and he just said he goes, my God, Novak and the Jet fan base. Like, again, how do you do it? How do you do it? Why do you do it? How is it possible? So you got either Sam Darnold or the Patriots winning a Super Bowl. I mean, how? This was kind of us last year with the Eagles and the Chiefs, I think, as far as like Giant fans maybe. But this is this worse? Maybe I think it is.
It's worse because it's the Patriots.
Yeah.
The Sam Darnold thing is bad as a Jet fan, but I was listening to the radio today, and they made a point. They're like, well, maybe we could say, well, we drafted him. Yeah. I mean, instead of Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, and he's in the Super Bowl, so we're smart enough to do that, but we kicked him to the curb for Zach Wilson. So it is like I said last week when I gave my predictions for this past weekend, it's the Jets kicking the nuts Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it happened. Of
And it
course it
happened.
did. And it happened
It's
to you
not-
guys last year with Barkley and the Eagles, and
Yeah.
this is awful. It is awful. Like I'm distraught yet again.
And when you
But
guys,
it's not like the Jets just had a good Sam Darnold and thought he couldn't play anymore or something. He stunk.
He was terrible.
He stunk terribly.
He was bad.
And then when he made the comment that, I'm seeing ghosts out there, a quarterback saying that about himself, that was the end of his career. In my opinion, I thought it was over for him for good. Then he goes to the Panthers and stinks. And I don't know how all of a sudden on Minnesota he's good, but even then, I mean, he crumbled at the end of the year last year. He became same old Sam Darnold, and
that's the team that's got to feel worse than the Jets is the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
True.
Right? Because they chose J.J. McCarthy 9 over Sammy Darnold, slinging Sammy Darnold. So, they had him. They could have re-signed him. He would have signed there in a heartbeat, and they chose that loser McCarthy.
They had the good version of him too. They didn't have the version the Jets had. I mean, you're right about that.
hey, their quarterback room at this time last year was Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold.
Yeah, and they kicked them both out.
I know.
To go with 9.
So you can make an argument that the Vikings rival some of the more snake-bitten franchises in this league because we know about their 0 for 4, but they haven't been in the Super Bowl since 1976, I believe.
The Gary Anderson kick.
The 98 team where they were dominant, right? They were the best team by far. They had that. Then the Favre interception against New Orleans. The Vikings they've come close many times to championship games, and there's no reason to be talking about them, but I happened to see something today. I'm like, man, the Vikings, they've had some shit.
They are like the NFC version of the Bills. 4 lost Super Bowls.
Yeah.
Snake bit, heartbroken, but they're usually decent. I think we also forget the Bills had an 18-year run where they didn't make the playoffs.
That's true.
Right? So, I mean, the Jets are at year 16, but the Bills did have 18 years. They did not make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the Vikings were always like an 8-8, 9-7.
Always, right? They're just
they're always in there somehow, some way.
They're
they were
kind
never
of invisible.
Really bad.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what crept up on me, and I didn't realize this until one of you guys texted it this weekend, but this is the Patriots' 12th appearance in a Super Bowl, and I remember the first in 85.
85.
Oh, yeah.
So since 85, they have gone 12 times. Well, 11 times, more times now.
Yeah, it's
wild.
It's insane, actually.
So, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, and this could be the beginning of a second dynasty. You got the coach, you got the quarterback, you got the ownership, you got the organization. I mean, the AFC is kind of down. I could see it again.
Yeah. And you remember the Patriots' start to these Super Bowls. I mean, they were fodder for the 85 Bears, which anybody would have been, right?
Yeah, right.
And then they rolled in and hung in the game with Parcells coaching them when they got beat by the Packers. And then it looked like they were going to get rolled again by the greatest show on turf, and they somehow managed to win that. And there we go. And it's just
that started everything. Yeah.
Yep.
Was that Brady's rookie year?
It was.
Yeah.
That was he got in that year because Mo Lewis knocked him out.
Yep. That was the Mo Lewis trucking of Bledsoe that year. Didn't know who Tom Brady was.
Followed. Yep.
Yeah. The Patriots announcers didn't know who Tom Brady was.
No, they didn't.
They made fun and famously said, and now we got some guy named Tom Brady coming into the game.
It's insane.
They every time there's a backup quarterback that comes in, and when they have, more than just in the Super Bowl, but other games, they always get compared to Jeff Hostetler, and very few have done it, other than Nick Foles. Nick Foles is probably the other one, but
let's hope a couple of Patriot quarterbacks get knocked out so we can see Tommy DeVito taking a snap in the Super Bowl.
Christ. Tommy Cutlets. Yeah. He's going to get a ring. Cutlets may get a ring.
He has a chance.
Look at that.
That's, Christ.
So, Cardone, I really didn't have a problem with this game from an officiating standpoint much. I mean, look, there were three total penalties in this game. the only thing I had a problem with was them blowing the whistle on that play because they always talk about they're going to let the play go, this, that, and the other thing. And next thing you know, I hear a whistle as a like when the Patriot guy picks the ball up is when I hear the whistle, and it's like, well, what are you blowing the whistle for now for?
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, they swore that they put that stipulation in that they won't blow the whistle. It still happens, right? It still happens. I don't want to talk. My main pet peeve is on a particular call in that game, so I'll kind of just leave it there. But that particular play, we've seen it just rear its ugly head still with the whistles blowing plays dead. Other times whistles don't come in quick enough and plays are allowed to continue and stuff happens. So that's not going to go away. And we can bark about it all day and night, and it's not going to change anything. And it's funny. I kept thinking, I was watching yesterday's games, just imagining if one of those teams were the Giants, and I'm trying to remember what that feels like to be, and having and thinking about. Greg and I talk about this all the time. Like, can you as bad as with the calls are for or against, offense, defense kind of thing. I just kept imagining, like, my God, if some of these calls were against the Giants in these games, I don't know how I'd even be able to function and get through a game these days. I just don't know.
Yeah.
A game with that much on the line. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I explode as it is and not really caring who wins a lot of times. I just wanting to see the right call.
I think Payton lost the game for the Broncos.
Yeah.
I mean, I think not just the field goal. I think that was the big part, right? Because you go up 10-0, that weather comes in, that game's over. I don't care what anybody says. They're winning that game. But he made some other questionable calls throughout that game. And Vrabel it's almost like he just did the bare minimum because he knew he had a chance to win by doing the bare minimum. And Payton, some of the play calling and the rotations he had at running back didn't make sense to me. I don't know what he was doing. I feel like he did bad timeout management. It was just very bizarre. And it's almost like he got too nervous or something, which is not like him. But it was a poorly coached game by Payton, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the snow was interesting because they made such a big deal about going in one direction in the snow.
Yes.
It never really benefited either team. I mean, at that point, it was more that the field conditions were pretty bad. By the way, if Romo said the word conditions one more time, I was going to tear my screen out. But I mean, the field of play became pretty poor, and that's to your point, Novak. I kept thinking about Payton going, this is the time when his play calling, if it's such a great play calling book, he should be able to thrive here because he's got running backs or wide receivers that have secure footing, so they should know where they're going to. It looked like the running backs are just running into the middle of the line and getting stopped.
Why wouldn't you run like that Mims guy who's fast as hell?
Yeah.
Can't you run a reverse with him or something in the snow? Because you have to think he's coming around the side like that. The defense is going to have a hard time getting traction to tackle him or catch him. They didn't try anything. It's like run it up the gut, get 2 yards, have Stidham drop back and throw it into the feet in the snow. Like, it was bizarre.
We opened up this podcast tonight with someone calling Payton an arrogant fuck. I don't remember who that was, but
It was
I think I did. Yeah.
But I think that's spot on. I think Payton is just arrogant. And I think he coached this game as if he had a starting quarterback because he wanted to prove to somebody, I don't know, but at his own detriment, because now he's going to be home watching the Super Bowl with the rest of us. Look, this guy's been a coach for a long time. He had Drew Brees. He's been to one of these things, Super Bowls. Let's just remember that. I mean, sometimes Payton gets lifted up there pretty lofty in when we're talking about coaches. And I think he's done an excellent job with Denver. And I even commented early in the game because Stidham looked pretty damn good early. And I'm like, okay, this whole thing makes Bo Nix make sense to me now. If Payton can get Stidham ready like this, then Bo Nix makes more sense. But let's remember who he is. I mean, I get that he's another really bad, uncalled pass interference away from probably being in 2 of those. But I think sometimes Payton's name gets lumped in with loftier coaches than he.
That's a great point, Mike, because I think we're all kind of saying the same thing here. But as I was just watching the game and obviously you get the camera shots of the coaches and such. And I think, Novak, you just alluded to it, like something about Payton, like he just had a nervous look on his face.
He did.
Where as the game went on, the conditions were, so there it is, there's that word conditions, Scott. As the, and things started going against them. And, New England had to survive a couple missed field goals and some other things too. But like Vrabel just has that confidence and energy and fervor that he has, like that you didn't see. Now, just different personalities. Peyton's just a lot more reserved guy in the middle of the game while he's coaching. But did you guys get the same sense when I was looking at Peyton? I go, this guy, he looks cold. He looks nervous. He looks a little bit like just unsure and uncertain of himself and what he wants to do. And then you got Vrabel over there just, just being like the coach's coach, the player's coach that he is. And it's seen that. Did that have an edge in the ultimate end of the game? I don't know, but Vrabel just seems. That's one thing about this Patriot team that, it's that I don't hate, I guess, because Vrabel's a likable guy. He was one of the guys on New England. I kind of liked him as a player. I just like, and so now as a coach, I like what he's doing, and he's the kind of coach that I would love to have on any sidelines. I mean, I'm thrilled with Harbaugh, obviously, that we're going to have next year, but. Vrabel's the kind of guy that I just like his style. And I don't know, I just thought he coached with more confidence and conviction in the second half than Peyton did yesterday.
Yeah, it was one thing that was funny. Mike, you bring up a good point about Peyton. Everyone gives him a lot of credit for one Super Bowl. But, I don't know, John Fox won a Super Bowl with the Broncos, and he took the Panthers too. No one talks about him, and he's not an arrogant prick like Sean Payton. And I don't think he was a good coach. Don't get me wrong. I think John Fox wasn't great. But he won one and took another team.
Yeah.
Peyton hasn't done that. So why are we all anointing this guy?
That happened in a long time, in my opinion, Sean Payton. But
well, there could be a parallel. Go ahead, Mike.
I was just going to ask, how do you guys think Tennessee fans feel about this? Vrabel just takes a year off, goes to another organization, and is immediately in the Super Bowl. I mean. It's weird because I know everyone in this room agrees. When we would watch the Titans back when Vrabel was there, everyone recognized he was a really good coach.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could tell.
Ryan Tannehill, he was getting to the AFC Championship every other year.
Yeah.
The Titans were in the playoffs a lot with Vrabel, and you think about that team before and after him, not a whole lot.
Yeah.
No.
So that was the first game, sort of a dud, weather related in some sort. But then the second game, fantastic game, I thought, and there's a parallel here that I'll bring up in a minute. But, you had Seattle, the Rams, back and forth game. Seattle started pulling ahead. And once they looked like they were up handily and were getting the ball back, a guy makes a boneheaded taunting penalty. Very next play, Puka Nacua gets a touchdown and the game's right back at it. And this game also came down to a questionable fourth down call. McVay went for it. He didn't get it. He could have cut the score to 1. Now, as it turned out, the Rams didn't get a stop at all against the Seahawks on that last drive. But I'm always for giving your team a chance to win with a field goal if you can. It's not as bad. It's not as bad as the Payton one in my opinion. But these guys refuse to take points. They just continue to refuse to take points as if a field goal is a loss.
You say that it didn't matter because they didn't stop him, but not true, because think about it. They got the ball back with 21 seconds, 25 seconds.
Yeah.
It's a 30-yard field.
Yeah.
Versus they got to get a touchdown. So the defense is obviously playing different, right? They're in a very soft zone as they were. They're going to play him a little bit tighter, but they probably would give him the middle of the field. It's 3 passes in 20 seconds, which can be done, or even 2, and you can kick a field goal. You play that completely differently. And they got that fat kicker who could probably nail one from 62 yards.
No, that is true. That is true.
I tell you what's demoralizing about that. I'm looking at the the game cast here, and that was the ones where they came up empty. That was a 14-play, 84-yard, 7-minute, 24-second drive to come away with nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, that is devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I said the same thing. I go, just go down by 1. Just go down. It's 4th and 4. you know, it just go down by one at that time. How much time was left? There was still, what, 4 minutes left to go in the game or something?
I think it was
No, it
just
was more.
under 4.
I thought it was like 5. I'm looking here, Scott. It was close to, I think it was maybe just under 5 minutes, if I have that right.
I think it was 4:24, I believe.
4:20. Okay. Yep. And go down by 1.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because if say I think we texted it on our thread.
Mm-hmm.
If you still give up a touchdown to Seattle, there chances are they're going to go for 1. You're down by 8. You have a chance to tie. Worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd at least have. Now, would you have who knows what would happen as far as time left and stuff? But because they had no timeouts and end of the game, they didn't give themselves a real chance. Even though Nakua came a blade of turf from going out of bounds to keep the at least 2 seconds left on a Hail Mary there. But yeah,
must run the clock, Cardone. Even if it ends a playoff game, we must run it.
Must run it. I was thinking, but when they showed the replay, I was thinking, like, God, please have his knee like hit the white. I wanted to see one more play.
Yeah,
couldn't get it. We weren't allowed.
Must run it.
Yeah.
The drive before they tried running it too, and Nakua actually he got the ball hit from out of his hands and it went out of bounds. So that should stop the clock right there. And the guy comes in and wind it, and then they go after assisted replay, the runner was out of bounds.
Yeah.
I still don't know when assisted replay works because you can't retroactively call a face mask that was in blatant view of people, but they can overturn that. But it was a great game. I had a similar comment thinking in that game. I didn't make the parallel to Sean Payton, but I was thinking because they talked about what a great job McVay has done with the Rams and what a fiery coach he is. And this guy is, he's full of enthusiasm. He has his team ready to play. And he's another guy. I do think he's a very good coach, but he's won 1 Super Bowl, and that's the only one he's ever been to. And they talk about this guy as if his coaching tree is the most magnificent ever, and this, that, and the other thing. The guy on the other sideline, 38-year-old McDonald, in a Super Bowl in his first year. That to me is pretty damn impressive.
Yeah,
McVay was outcoached. He was. I think he's been to 2 Super Bowls though, right?
I think he's only to 1.
They lost
to
New
the
England.
Patriots and beat the Bengals.
Was he the coach for the one that lost to the Patriots? Though? I don't think he was.
I
thought for sure he was. No,
his first year was 2017, wasn't it?
Oh, well, maybe I'm wrong on that.
No,
but while you're looking that up.
No, I have it, Scott. I had it here. He was. McVay was coach of that team too, so he's been to 2. Yeah, the one with Goff, and they lost to New England.
And that
was that lame game. It was like 13-3. That was McVay.
That's the worst.
Okay.
Awful Super Bowl. So
that
was his team.
You're right, though. I think he's a little overrated. And he also, was it the end of the first half where there was like a minute and something left? And
they gave them a chance to score.
Yeah, they threw the ball like 3 times or whatever, and then Seattle gets the ball back and kicks a field goal. Like, you got to have a little of awareness there. You're on the road. You don't want to go into the half down. Was it 10? They went into the half down 10. Is that right?
Yeah.
It was 7.
No,
it was 17-13.
Yeah, they were. It was 13-10, and they scored at the end of the half to make it 17-13.
That's what it was. They got a touchdown.
Right.
Even worse.
Right.
That's what it was. But I remember thinking, like, he's handling this very strange at the end of the game, and and they were winning. You got to go into the halftime on the road in that. And one of my pet peeves is 12th man bullshit that I'm tired of hearing about. Go into the halftime with the crowd sort of not into it. He let them right back in, and I thought he lost the game there personally.
Yeah. Yeah, they scored from second and goal. They scored from the 14, if you remember. The pass to
that's right to
JSN.
JSN got that.
But it was there was only 20 seconds though left in the half, and then they went down. They went into the half trailing by 4. LA did. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I don't like about McVay, and it's just, remember when he tried to quit because he thought his team wasn't going to be very good? I mean, people don't talk about that enough.
No.
Like, he was still very young, which he still is now. He just didn't want to coach that team that year. And they ended up pretty good, right? I remember they ended up being fairly decent.
He pulled a Coach K? Coach K back injury?
Yeah. Oh, my back hurts. I think my team sucks. I'm going to take a year off.
Bill Guthridge, please take over.
Yeah. I don't want this team. I want the stain of this team on my all-time record.
Well, if I remember correctly, when they got to the Super Bowl, maybe it was after they won, they went like all in. They were bringing in guys. I remember they were like the Eagles back then. I'm like, how are they affording another guy? Right? They had Aaron Donald, and they're bringing in Jalen Ramsey and all these players. And I'm like, why were they doing this? And they went all in, and then I think they were in cap hell. And he was like, well, I don't want this stain on my record. And you're right, Mike. And no one talks about that.
Yeah.
But as far as NFC Championship games go, that was an exciting one to watch. What I don't understand, and they mentioned it on the broadcast, is people at home are wondering, how is Puka getting so wide open? I was wondering that about him, about Smith Najigba. I mean, those guys are all day long, like they do what they want, and these are two good defenses. It's not like we're watching the Giants out there where we know that's going to happen against the Giants. But
no, those receivers are. I mean, that was 1 and 1A on the field, in my opinion, in the NFL for wide receivers. That was quite a show.
And I've mentioned it before. Puka, I love Nakua. I love the guy. I think he's my favorite player in the league outside of a Giant uniform. I just love watching that guy run routes. He catches everything.
He breaks up interceptions.
I love him.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, the only thing was at the end, I kind of wish he did go out of bounds because I wanted the Seahawks to win.
Yeah.
I was wanting a 1-second Hail Mary, see if they would kick it. Like, I was curious to see what would happen there, which is too bad that he was out. But I didn't want them to win, so I guess in a sense I was glad. But that was a great game.
Well, as soon as Denver had lost, I had no chance in our little fun predictions here. We got
to our magic number quickly.
I was going for the Seahawks. What I liked about that game was, in contrast to Tony Romo, I have become a Tom Brady fan. I didn't think I'd ever say this, but Tom Brady calls a good game. He doesn't let his emotions get to him. And what I thought was interesting is, Tom Brady, who you think of the guy being cold as ice and things like that, before the game started, they were in the booth. He's like, this is the championship game, guys. This is football. Let's get it on. He was getting psyched, and I was getting psyched. I was much more psyched for that game than I was the AFC game, probably because it's NFC and we're NFC guys. 3 of us are NFC guys.
Yeah.
Tom's great. Does a really good job. Took him a couple weeks to get his legs under him. He's been great.
Even when he was bad last year, I do remember the 4 of us were kind of like, he's not that bad. What is everyone talking about?
Yeah.
Right? We were all saying it. Like, even I, who I hate Brady, and I'm thinking, he's really not that bad. What are we talking about here?
We want him to be like kind of clunky at something. He's just smooth. He just glides through life. He's just smooth, man. He's a smooth cat. He's just good. So he sounds like a natural already. The guy's good. He's just he's just good.
And Burkhardt's fantastic.
Yeah,
Burkhardt's
I was going to say. Yeah. The only other guy that Brady might be paired up with that I would like better is Kevin Harlan. But I love Burkhardt. And it's funny too because you look at Burkhardt versus Nance, and Nance keeps going back to his sort of like Rory has his master's piece. It's like Drake May, a 10-year-old boy at Carolina watching a Super Bowl. And you got that, and meanwhile Kevin Burkhardt and Tom Brady are just talking about the football game. It's almost like Madden and Summerall were. They wouldn't talk about that bullshit.
No, absolutely not. They would have cared 2 shits about that stuff.
That was Dick Enberg.
Yeah. Who's doing the Super Bowl?
It's Collinsworth and
and Michaels.
I don't know if it's Collinsworth and Michaels. It's the NBC
Tirico, right?
Tirico.
Yeah. Or Tirico, rather. Tirico, yeah. That's good.
No, I like
Tirico.
Yeah.
Collinsworth, guy. Jesus Christ.
But if it's a bad game and we got to listen to Collinsworth, the Super Bowl's blown up as it is, but God.
See how many different ways he finds to compare either quarterback to Patrick Mahomes. Look at that throw. I mean, that reminds me of Patrick Mahomes.
This guy. So around the league, we didn't have a whole lot of news. I mean, the Giants are filling out their coaching staff. They signed Denard Wilson as their defensive coordinator. Philip Rivers took his hat out of the running for the Buffalo Bills coaching position, which I
Shocking.
thought was funny. He was even up for that in the first place, and yet in yet another sign that the Pro Bowl doesn't matter anymore. Shedeur Sanders is
Oh my
Drake May's
God.
replacement.
Can't believe
His
that.
7 touchdown, 10 interception season has now named him as a Pro Bowler.
Who,
And that's
who's
it.
voting
That's it.
for
That's
this
it.
stuff? I mean,
That's the
what-
death of the Pro Bowl. You can't. That's it.
It cannot give it any credibility.
No.
I mean, come on. I could probably, if we sat here and thought about it, we could name 7 guys in the AFC that should be put in that place. But Tua, I would have him over him, Shedeur
That's
Sanders,
hysterical. That's exactly the name that came to my mind. Tua is better than Shedeur
course.
Sanders. Yeah.
How
right?
about
Cam
Joe?
Ward should be there.
How about Joe Flacco or Joe
about the
Burrow?
Dick?
At the Dick, sure, absolutely.
Who the Dick might be playing next year because now Mike McCarthy has been named the coach of the Steelers.
That's right.
Which it's funny because the Steelers have such a tradition of having coaches last for a long time. I give McCarthy a shelf life of about 3 years in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. This is the end of that for the Steelers. Their
think so.
long-term coach run. This is awesome.
You-
This is awesome because I understand. I do get that Tomlin left, but and he probably did leave on his own. But these Steeler fans who've been running this guy to town, well, buckle up, my friend.
Exactly. I mean, Tomlin, we know he didn't. The guy did not have one losing season in 19 years, whatever. I actually am pulling, and I know Steeler fans and have friends with some Steeler fans and stuff. But like I'm looking for McCarthy to go, to have a losing season next year, and
Right
this
out
is
of the, right out of
this
the
is
gate.
what you get. You know what I mean?
It'll
Like
be
this is
amazing.
the Bills with McDermott, Steelers with Tomlin, running these guys out of town. Baltimore with running hard. Like let's see what Baltimore does. They like running these guys out of town. Good coaches. Good luck, man. Good
Yep.
luck.
Yep.
Because Pittsburgh, you may have your first losing season in 2 decades.
God,
Good
if
luck.
Pittsburgh is 5-12. Oh, that's so delicious. And but there are Pittsburgh fans who would say, no, that's fine. We want to be 5-12. We need the draft picks. This has been the problem. we understand that Tomlin was sort of elevating our team from a 2 or 3 win team to an 8-win team that we can't get draft picks, but he can't close the deal. So we'll see. But the spin should be I want that 5-12 so
I
bad
know.
because I actually, you know what I want more than that? I want the 7-10 because I want him to pick later still, but not make the playoffs.
Why not
Yeah.
just go 8-9? It's still
Let's go
losing.
8-9. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do
8-9
that.
could
Go
get,
even for
could you
8
could
and
slip
9 and
into the
picking
playoffs.
16th. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8-9 though in like the NFC could get you a playoff berth.
Yeah. You could
They're in the right division.
sneak into the playoffs with it.
Well, one thing, Scott, I wanted to bring up. Looks like it's trending towards our guy Robert Saleh as head coach and Brian Daboll as offensive coordinator.
My
This
God.
pod is going to have so much interest in the Tennessee Titans next year.
Titans. The
I
Let's
AFC
go
South.
Titans.
I think the last time I watched the Tennessee Titans, Warren Moon played for the Houston Oilers.
I mean, is there a team we could give less shits about than the Tennessee Titans?
That's why this is so perfect.
Right?
That's a great question. If you were to ask me the team that has the least relevance to me, I actually don't mind. I've watched the Jaguars before. I don't mind the Jaguars. I probably have more of a rooting interest with them now that Trevor Lawrence is there. But it's probably the Titans.
It's got to be the Titans.
It's either the Titans or the Falcons, I think.
But even the Falcons are NFC, and like they're
They're close to Charlotte. There's something about that.
Yeah.
I don't. For me, I guess because I'm an AFC person, I would say the team that means the least to me is probably the Commanders. Like I just don't care about them. Like I never have. I think it's stupid. They've changed their name a million times. They're always irrelevant. So for me, it's them.
Yeah,
But
that's a
for
good
you
one.
guys, I could see how the Titans would be that.
Yeah.
That would make
Yeah.
sense.
That is the team Cardone always goes to when he's talking about. Why don't you just go to some nondescript AFC team like the Tennessee Titans?
It's true. When Barkley, when he was, I said, please go to the Titans or please go to the AFC South, so that way I wouldn't even have to see you. Like when you. Yeah. No, he goes to the Eagles. Not even like the Bucks or something, like another NFC. Not even. Oh God Almighty. At least that's
The Giants have had so many fuck you moments in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means that this franchise is a laughing stock to everyone, and that's why it's happened. But I'm happy Harbaugh's here now. So
yeah, I honestly think we've talked about this not so much recently, but I don't think the Giants are a laughing stock to enough people. I think we still get credit for being like we're the Giants. Oh, I don't think enough people understand how terrible and pathetic we've been.
They don't. We've been trying to put that word out there. We've done our best.
Yeah.
So, Mike, I'll tee you up for predictions because, traditionally we don't come on the air in the week between the Super Bowl, and that will probably happen again this year unless something catastrophic happens. We also probably have a live show we could fill in that space. We could do Pet Peeves, a recap that would fill in that space. So we got some content we'll play next week, but we probably won't do an actual podcast because there's really nothing to talk about unless we want to talk about Drake May being a 13-year-old watching the Panthers in the Super Bowl.
You do a whole episode on that. That'd be good.
Or that he dated the same girl since middle school and it's now his wife and they see him through the years.
That'll take a minute.
I want to like the kid. I do, and I do like Charlotte the kid. Guy. I do like the kid right now, but I know what they're going to do to it. I know they're going to ruin it for me. Yep. They're going to ruin it.
They will.
Oh yeah.
All right. So the picks this week, Mike, Cardone, and Novak all had the same record coming in of 9-1. They all have the same record going out of 11-1. So, unless I don't know who we're picking for the Super Bowl, we'll find out. But Cos came in at 6-4 and made a couple daring moves to try to rip past us and fail. He tried to go on the outside. He hit the wall pretty hard.
If I had any control over it, I wouldn't have gone for it on 4th down, and I would have had to win.
So his picks of Denver and the Rams, both games were close, but they just didn't fall his way. So Cost is picking these playoffs at a 500 clip at 6-6.
By the way, I had the best of both worlds. I bet on the Broncos to cover, getting 3.5. So they ended up covering. Right. Plus they had them to win if they won.
So Novak and Mike, who were your? We only have who are your losses? Which is your loss?
I lost the Houston. I picked Houston over New England.
Houston over New England.
I picked Buffalo over Denver.
Okay, mine was going back to wild card weekend. I had the Eagles beating the Niners.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
By the way, I don't know if you guys saw the pick of Gillette Stadium during that game. If Buffalo had won against Denver, they would have been playing in New England.
So great.
And that would have been a huge snow game there. That was actual snow there for a while.
I think we all would agree. If Buffalo had beaten them, Buffalo's in the Super Bowl right now.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
Which makes Devin Tier and Buffalo fans even that much more crazy because we saw another play in the Seattle game with a receiver that catches a ball, hits the ground, the ball comes out down by contact.
I mean, I think the Bills would lose to the Seahawks. I do, but they'd be in the Super Bowl for sure.
I'm not so sure. I don't know. Well,
maybe.
I was thinking about Buffalo a couple times yesterday. Watching that game, thinking I wanted them there. They should have been there. They would have won. They would have won yesterday. I think they would have.
But they definitely would have beaten New England for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Would they have beaten Seattle? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be certainly a tough game, but I think I certainly would give them a decent chance. Beat
better
Seattle.
Chance than the Patriots.
Puncher's
better chance than Seattle. Yeah, I mean Seattle's. You guys see the spread? They're favored by 4.5. Seattle.
I think that's going to go up too.
I think it will.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of that, it sounds like we're kind of all on the same page here. I kind of tipped my hand earlier, but I believe that this is going to go back to harken back to the 80s Super Bowls where they were just out of control very quickly. I think the same thing could happen here. I love Vrabel. I love Drake May. I like where this team's going. Seattle is a buzzsaw right now. And, it's funny as the season kind of wound down at the end, everyone's attention was taken to these other teams. And Seattle just kept doing their thing, just a buzzsaw right down the middle. I think that continues here. I think they get up early. The Patriots panic a little bit, and it rolls downhill. Of course, then you get the late defensive score, right? We know we've all seen the Super Bowl script, right? We know how this goes. So I'm gonna say this is big. I'm gonna say Seattle 42, New England 20.
Wow.
Let's go Cardone next.
This game is all about the revenge factor, the Malcolm Butler play, the not giving the ball to Marshawn Lynch back in Super Bowl, whatever the fuck number that was. So I'm sure we're going to see and hear that play in the next 2 weeks, probably like 50 times. I've already heard, seen, of course, a couple of references to it. So this, of course, is all about the, avenging that play. And, but, so without getting into too much of the X's and O's, yeah, I think Seattle's just playing at a unstoppable level right now. And it just seems to be, it's a great point, Mike, because a lot of teams, the Rams were a team. There's a number of teams that had the spotlight on them. And Seattle, maybe because they're all the way up there in the Pacific Northwest, where Newman learned how to climb trees. We don't know what goes on up there in the Pac Northwest. So they're kind of like a hidden story a little bit. And Seattle, I think, pulls this one out. I don't have quite the margin of victory that you have, Mike, but I'm going Seattle 27-19.
Very close.
Kind of a odd couple numbers in there, going with your little Super Bowl boxes. I got a 9 and a 7 in there. So, well, the 7's a normal number, but the 9 maybe not. 27-19 Seattle. Yeah.
So for me, I agree with both of you. This isn't a shock for anyone, really. This Seattle team is very complete, and I think this New England team is completely flawed. I'm gonna hold that feedback for my pet peeve. I think the Seahawks get out of the gate pretty quickly, get up on them. I think this is going to be a boring Super Bowl. There's no juice for this one at all, in my opinion. I think it's going to be bland and kind of stupid. So I have the Seahawks here, 27-17. So very close to Cardone, but I think this is a late touchdown by the Pats. They're probably up 27-10 with like 3 minutes left, something like that. Game's over. Everyone's going home early. It's going to be a bore.
Yeah.
I don't see this one close either. I see Drake May in this playoff season. He's just barely hanging on. Had he played a higher level of competition, he probably would they would have lost, and he probably would be not lauded for the way he's been playing at all. There wouldn't be that storyline there. I think Seattle is going to come out. Their defense is going to, do really well. I think New England's defense is overrated too. They gave up that long pass to Denver early on, and from there it just sort of snowballed. But they, then there was no threat because of the weather. So I think Seattle wins this game 35-10, and it's one of those going back to the Super Bowls of lore where they're just, game was over by the halftime sometimes.
Yep.
Clean sweep.
Yeah.
Yep. Closest game we have here is
I do too.
Cardone picking an 8-point game. I have it at 22. Scotty has it at 25. Novak has it at 10. Which, by the way, speaking of scores last week, and Novak pointed this out on the text thread, I had picked Seattle 31-26, which was a pretty darn good pick.
1 point off.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. But Novak also had 32-28, so he was right there as well. We were all over that score.
What was the score?
31-27.
Yeah.
31-27.
Oh, wow. Yeah, pretty awesome.
So since Mike might have some pet peeves that snowball into others. I'll let him start with pet peeves.
No pun intended, right? Snowball. I like it. I like what you did there. Yeah, I'm going to have a pet peeve that it's going to start away from football. It's going to come to football. So bear with me on this one. But we here in the Southeast have been expecting a big winter storm. It started out more than a week ago. They started talking about it as a big snow event. When it got within a week, they kind of took that to an ice event rather than a snow event. But the bottom line was it kept getting a little less worse. You could see the momentum go following this storm. But as early as Tuesday, when I tuned into the 6:00 news, which I do sometimes, the whole newscast on Tuesday was about a storm that was supposed to hit on Saturday. It's the whole newscast, the whole half hour. So, I'm teasing my wife a little bit because, of course, my wife is like, oh, we got to fill the bathtubs and we got to, all the things, right? All the weather things, leave the cabinets open and drip the faucets and, all that. So I'm teasing her a little bit and I'm saying, honey, you know how this goes. This is going to be a dang near nothing burger. And then the weather people are going to say, we dodged a bullet.
Oh, yeah.
We dodged a bullet. So sure enough, we got the dodged a bullet headline today, which was awesome. But my pet peeve here is like, guys, we get it. Weather's tough. It is really hard to figure this stuff out. It's impossible. Can we please not act like every storm's Armageddon? Because we kind of know that it's not going to be. We know that because watch what happens. This is a phenomenon I love when the hurricane season starts and it's out there and it's spinning down there, near Cuba. The first time it comes on the Carolina news, they're like, the path goes directly to Charlotte. Right, like pinpoint Charlotte.
That red cone. We're engulfed in the cone.
Charlotte's right in the middle of the red cone.
Yeah.
And it always ends up just skirting the, coast and flying back out to sea. So, yeah, I understand. It's an almost impossible thing to get right. But let's stop pretending we can then, right? We finally reached the point with this one. This was particularly bad. You guys know that, they were like evacuate,
oh yeah.
Yeah. It was bad. And the sad thing about it is like we got some ice and sleet and stuff and the roads were shit. But compared to what they predicted, it was nothing. And so, yeah, weather people, come on, give me a break with that stuff. I'm going to stay on weather just for a second. This is just a quick one because I just kind of caught this a little bit today. So do you know there were articles online today and posts on Twitter today saying, should we really be deciding championship games in weather like there was in Denver? Shouldn't we have these at a neutral site or in a dome?
Neutral site.
Wait. Before we handle this, Peacock has a question about this. So,
that's all perfect.
Yes.
I'll back off. But
so we will discuss this, but
we're going to know that my answer to his question will be like, we absolutely should be deciding championship games in weather like this. Leave it alone.
I want to go back to Minnesota. I want the Bud Grant in a short sleeve shirt in 20 below weather coaching a team in Minnesota.
Yeah. It's ironic that it's Denver fans like, oh, the game ruined it. You're in Denver.
They should outlaw
you
domes.
guys are lucky. You guys are lucky that wasn't Buffalo up there because when it started snowing, the Bills would have been like, oh, here we go. But yeah, so I'll leave mine alone and wait for the question. But yeah, that's my pet peeve this week. Stop trying to predict the weather and act like it's the end of the world.
But Tracy Wolfson couldn't see in one direction. She had to turn her back.
Yeah, even though you could tell by the way punts and kicks were going that it was a crosswind without question.
She is my pet peeve, or one of them.
So
right on.
I'll piggyback off of Mike here because I did have a weather-related one here as one of my pet peeves, and that's kind of what Mike was talking about with Bonnie. Like the weather people, they don't just predict the weather now; they tell you what you need to do. Well, you need to open up your cabinets. You need to leave the faucets dripping. You need to do all the shit. Well, first off, I'm on a slab right now, so on a slab, I don't think weather's going to get into the concrete. I think my pipes are okay. I don't have to worry about those freezing, but what I start to get pissed off about is they come up with all these catchy things to try and explain the weather. So the one I heard this week was sleet versus freezing rain. So sleet is like sprinkles on a donut. Freezing rain is like glaze on a donut. And this is the difference. Now I don't know what that applies to me, because if I get sleet and freezing rain, do I have sprinkles that are glazed over? I don't know what that really applies to it. And what ended up happening is none of that. We got
Plain donut.
dusty the snow, and we got sleet and freezing rain, and my windshield was caked over with ice, and then it defrosted in about 5 minutes, and we went on our way.
Yep.
But they do stuff like that. And then the other thing is they tell you how to dress in the weather too. You get this one, dress in layers. You need to dress in layers. And it's like, well, why are weather people telling me how to dress when I go outside? If it's cold out, why don't I just put a parka on? If I don't like the parka, I could take off. I got a sweatshirt on or something. I don't understand this whole dressing in layers and how we have to act in the cold. It's like, do people really wander out in the cold and freeze to death?
But don't you dress in layers anyway? It's not like you just put a fucking parka on like bare-chested. It's the same thing no matter what time. Like, you wear a t-shirt, then you wear like a long sleeve, then maybe you have something like, you do that anyway.
The bare-chested parka.
Right? I mean, like, just you just go from fucking. You come out of the you come out of the shower, you just bypass the fucking closet, and you go with a parka. Like, don't you do that anyway? Like, regardless of what month it is and the weather, you always dress in layers. It's always like you could wear a dress shirt, t-shirt, dress shirt, and then something over that. I don't know. That's what you do anyway.
You're right, Cardone too. When you dress formally, you usually have the undershirt, you have the button-down shirt. You put your suit jacket on,
vest, maybe a 3-piece suit. Yeah. If you're renting a tux or something like that, you're going to a real formal event or something. Of course, it's layers.
Layers. It's all about layers, Jerry.
So yeah. The weather people can't just tell you what the weather is; they have to tell you how now to handle the weather. My second one is related to football, and this is. It was ironic because in the pregame before Denver and New England, one guy was there, and it wasn't Nate Burleson. I don't even know who the other guy in the CBS booth was. They had they had Kirk Cousins there this weekend, right?
They did. It was actually pretty good, by the way.
Yeah,
Cousins was pretty good.
Cousins did great.
Good.
He was.
I thought so too.
But it was someone there that said, guys, scoring touchdowns wins games. Settling for field goals does not win games.
Who was that?
I don't know who it was. It was one of that panel.
I missed it because I saw you do that on the text thread. I'm like, oh, I don't know who said it though.
And I said that before the game. I said, look, these guys are already calling that you have to score touchdowns. And you know what? That belief funnels down into coaches now. I mean, everyone loves a coach that goes for it. Well, I'll tell you what, we talked about it already. If Sean Payton kicks a field goal there, they win that game. I firmly believe that. He lost that game because of that. And these cliches that people spout without support, by the way, and they never get called for it either. So this guy who said that, who I don't even remember who it was who said it, he's not going to get called to the carpet. He's going to come back next year and go, guys, you got to go for it. Touchdowns, score touchdowns. Touchdowns, score touchdowns, and win games. Settling for field goals loses games. There's absolutely no data that shows that that's correct. And a lot of times we've said it time and again this season too, because it's becoming more and more prevalent. These guys that pass over field goals are leaving points on the table, and you don't know what that does at the end of the game.
Yeah, the entire game changes and not in your favor. And I'll tell you what we're seeing now that I never thought we'd see, even when these coaches started passing up field goals. They're passing up chances to go up 2 scores.
Yeah.
Like in the second halves of games.
Yep.
And, I'm sure Parcells said it. I attribute every old school coaching thing I've ever heard to Parcells, but I don't know if this was him or not. But the way that I grew up watching football, my high school coach, everybody, the rule, and it just made all the sense of the world, is you extend the game. You just keep extending the game. You don't do anything that settles the game before the end of the game, right? And that's just a rule of thumb to go by. And it sounds obvious, but it's not obvious these days because people don't do it. Now it is a little bit different today because the way the field position works and the stupid kickoff rules, teams can get back into field goal position pretty quickly. So sometimes, like at the end of a game, I would understand, I kind of understand the theory sometimes when it's like, I'm down here, I'm at the end. We already have the lead. There's like a minute and a half left. They've still got 2 timeouts though. If I kick a field goal here, I'm up by 2, whatever it is, or I'm just going up by 3. I get the feeling that it's super important that I score a touchdown here. But once you're stopped, it's 4th and 5. Just kick it and go away. I mean, you're still allowed to play defense. You might have to get a little lucky for it to work out for you, but it's insanity.
But
and when a coach,
but I think that
I'm just
magic
going to
number.
say,
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Scott.
No, I was going to say I think that magic number is 8 though. Once you get over 8 and it's 2 scores,
Yeah.
it should be a no-brainer. You should never think about that.
Yeah. The way the scoring is in the NFL now, to not get up 2 scores when you can is crazy. And I would say that the cutoff is before the 8, Scott. Like if you get 8 points ahead of somebody, you're forcing them to score 2 touchdowns. Now the second one is from the 2-yard line, but still they have to score 2 touchdowns to just tie you in that situation. I won't get it. I don't care. If Greg Olson tries to sit me down in a room and explain it to me, I'm not going to get it.
I also don't get the one where coaches don't like to go up by 20. They want to go up by 21. If you go up by 20, you're still up 3 scores.
Yeah.
2 scores, 3 scores. Those should be benchmarks that you shouldn't lose a game over. If you have a decent defense, you have a decent offense that can stay on the field.
Yep.
Right.
Novak, pet peeves?
Yep. So I got a couple. Quick one I want to get out. So if you were taking the SATs, it would be Scott Cost is to Caleb Williams as Novak is to Wolfson. I can't take her, as you know. She can't do anything right. And so she comes on screen and she goes, Jim, conditions have changed dramatically. Oh really, Wolfson? What are we...
Can't see for ourselves. Yeah.
Half an hour ago, this was a sunny day with bright green grass, and now all of a sudden, people can't walk 2 feet without walking in 5 inches of snow. We didn't notice this? So, Wolfson, she's got to go away. I can't take her. Like, every time, I'm so glad she's not doing this Super Bowl. She's done for the year. But my bigger pet peeve really is a predictive pet peeve, because I hate the week between the end of the championship game and the Super Bowl for a number of reasons. Most importantly, it's the week that I realize, fuck, football's over, and I get miserable realizing as much as we shit on it, I'm gonna miss it like I always do, and I hate this week more than any other week. Yep. But it's because of the storylines that they're gonna trot out. So I wanted to list these storylines real quick that they're gonna talk about, and it's gonna drive me crazy. Number 1, New England's road record of 9 wins, and let me just tell you real quick, because they're 9-0. Here's the teams they beat on the road: the Dolphins, the Saints, the Titans, the Jets, the Bills, the Bucks, the Bengals, and the Ravens. Only the Bills made the playoffs. And we're going to hear about this massive road record and how great they are on the road. Get out of here. And so we know their home wins: Panthers, Falcons, Browns, Jets, Giants, Dolphins.
Yeah.
And we're going to hear about how great this road record is. It's a mirage, this team. I can't take it. Number 2, Seahawks 12th man. I'm so tired. Oh, yeah. Every person they show at this Super Bowl with a Seahawk jersey, they're part of the 12th man and blah, blah, blah. I'm tired of hearing about it. Enough.
The 12s. The 12s.
The damn numbers retired, for God's sakes.
It's stupid. Like, they beat that thing to death, and they will do it at the Super Bowl, even though it's a neutral site. The Patriots 12 Super Bowls, that's going to be trotted out every 5 plays. They're going to talk about that. Vrabel, the first coach to play and coach a team, the same team in the Super Bowl. Get ready for this stat to be thrown out 1,000,000 times, and ask him about it when he's going to say the same thing. It doesn't matter. I just want to win the game. I love these players, blah, blah, blah. That whole thing. The Malcolm Butler, Marshawn Lynch play is going to be talked about. Like 1,000,000 times they're going to talk about this. Sam Darnold seeing ghosts. I'm going to have to relive this nightmare again, like 1,000,000 times. They're going to talk about this with him and the Patriots. And then finally, the last one they're going to talk about, this Drake May going to the game 10 years ago in Santa Clara to watch the Panthers. Like, this storyline cannot go away fast enough. If I hear it one more time, and you know that these guys are going to trot this thing out a million times, and I'm over it. Jake May is a nice kid, apparently. I actually saw his junior year. My daughter was cheerleading for Providence, and he was playing for Myers Park, and they kicked their ass like 65-7. Great. Like, seems like a good kid, good player. Stop it. Like, enough. He's a nice kid. Move on. So those are the narratives that I'm already annoyed about, and I haven't even heard them as much yet.
When they trotted that story out, I just pictured you three and me all reacting the same. I was like,
Yes.
God. You just put your head down like, here we go. Here we go. This is the what's his name sleeping on the floor of his dorm room story all over again.
Oh gosh, remember who was that?
Najee Harris?
No,
Najee Harris. That's right.
Nah, man, I slept in the bed.
Oh man. Oh
No,
my God.
That's a good one. And the other thing with Tracy Wolfson here, just to go back to her, I mean, we were talking about the weather, and they were making such a big deal about the weather going in one direction. Tracy Wolfson did the whole snow's in my face, I can't see. Let me turn my back. Oh, look, I can see now. Well, that didn't really turn into anything productive on the field, but yet she went there and she made a big production about it. Romo's making a big production about it.
I was hoping she would get caught in a snowdrift and not be able to get out, so she could just shut up and not be interviewing these guys with these ridiculous questions.
Hey, I think one of our best rants ever was the sideline reporter rant and how useless they are. And each week they
When
continue
Cardone
to
went down
prove
the
us true.
80s rom-com, I lost it. That was a good one. Recreational fucking space. That was the best.
Yeah.
Cardone, pet peeves?
So yeah, I mean, you guys hit on a few of mine, which is fine, which is great. Because I had like some weather things. We've already covered that. Novak just went through a whole list of some stuff that between the weeks. So I have one particular play. It's a peeve within other peeves that we've talked about collectively, and it involves these non-measuring spotting of the ball. This play in particular. What I noticed on this one, so I'm not sure if we brought this up yet, but I'm talking about the New England's drive coming out, the first drive in the second half, in a 7-7 game. New England marches down the field. They have that 4th and 1 on Denver's 8-yard line, and Drake May does that little quarterback sneak where there's no fucking way he got to that yellow line. Everyone knew it. The guy comes in. My peeve is, have you noticed now? Forget the fact we've covered everything about the spotting of the ball. The chains have been gone for years now. We've talked about that at nauseum. Now the virtual measurement. Like they didn't even do that for that particular play. You got a 7-7 game. May looks short. What really pissed me off, have you noticed now how lazily and lackadaisical the side judges come in to spot and mark the ball now? You got these two fat ass old just like Newman shaped people jogging out to the field to try to spot the ball. The same thing happens on a fumble. Remember in a fumble, the refs used to get in there and dig around like they're looking they don't do that anymore. None of these guys don't do that anymore because you know why? Because they have the advantage of just New York will just assist us. We'll go to assisted replay on this. And where on that play, they went to the overhead camera. Show me where Drake May crossed that fucking yellow line on that play. There's no way. The guy came in marking him. Both guys, especially the far sideline guy, came in. He was at least a foot to 2 feet short. I was thinking, I didn't care if he made it or not at that point. I was thinking I was thinking the same thing. Good. You didn't take the field goal down for Abel, so I was happy that they ended up kicking. They didn't score on that drive, a touchdown. They did end up getting 3 points. But what really pisses me off now are these guys, the side judges, the way they jog in, and with not only that, They should be firing in on a straight line and absolutely have a lock on where they're going to spot that ball. And they casually come in. They're like walking over there. It's like they're doing a sobriety test and they've got 8 IPAs in them as they're trying to walk a straight line to spot the ball. I'm sick of it. It's bullshit. And it's just getting worse and worse. And that play, at that time, didn't know the game was going to end 10-7, but they ended up, Denver bent. They didn't break there. They held New England to a field goal, but Vrabel went, he went for the field goal after that when they, got pushed back 4th down. But that was the difference in the game, guys. It ended up being a 10-7 game, and there's no way May had a first down there. Now, who knows what's going to happen to the rest of the game there, but really, why can't we just get like a true measurement, spotting of the ball, get these guys in there and do something better than what we have? This virtual measurement's not working. The spotting of the ball's none of it's working. None of it works.
We've always talked about the bully ref and how does the bully ref decide, what's what? And in a possession like that or in a situation like that, a lot of times you'll see 2 refs come in and they're in different positions.
Yeah.
So which one do they actually go with? Is it the guy that says, "Hey, wait, nope, I'm definitely right over here," and the other guy's like, "All right, you take it," or is it the other guy going, I'm right over here, because one of them inevitably marks the play short, and the other one marks the play a first down. And you know what I see now anymore is they'll put the ball down and the ref will just start like doing what.
Yes, I was about to say that, Scott. You know what I was saying, guys? I was talking to Greg again today. We recapped the games and stuff. I was saying, can you imagine? Imagine that's the Giants or Jets, right? And that's your guy in that situation, and you immediately are throwing your fist against the wall, like, fuck, he's short, he didn't make it, there's no way. And then they come back with just a 1st and 10 graphic, and New England's keeping the ball. There's no way that would happen or should happen.
No, and they have completely overcomplicated what was a very simple thing. It worked fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you had the chain gang, they came out, they pulled the damn thing, and the tip of the ball was either short or whatever. And I don't remember complaining about sometimes maybe spots, but back in the day, not as much. And on top of the fact, I don't know if you noticed this, but on the sideline, you remember back in the day, they would have like the little orange arrow that was like on the sideline one. Now it's like a speed bump, this thing.
Yeah.
Have you seen this thing? It's like 2 feet wide. How do you know what's the center of this thing?
Exactly.
They don't want you to know what the center of that thing is.
They really don't. And they're going to say that the electronic stuff is going to make it better. It's made it worse.
Worse.
So I have a question about the electronic stuff when they do the digital measurement. Is there a chip in the ball? Because if there's a chip in the ball, you should be able to tell if someone made the first down based on where the ball, the chip of the ball was the furthest. You know what I mean?
It's never been. I have not seen an explanation on where you right. Where's the technology of where the ball is on the line and on the field? No one has explained that. They still give us the fucking safety rules when a safety is scored, but no one can tell me how this virtual measurement works and where exactly when you. I've thought that one, Scott, as well. Where how do they know where the ball is on the screen versus in real life on the field? I don't get it.
Yeah. And I had a bigger problem too with the virtual yard markers that they started throwing up in the snow.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Where the bright white.
It took away from the game, actually. That was the cool part of the game. But the game was a bore. Yeah. And the snow was actually made it interesting.
And I don't know if you saw, because they put that overlay on there, some of the Patriot defenders were like disappearing in the AI because they put this overlay on. Next thing you know, they're blending in with the yard marker and everything else. It was I don't like that.
Maybe the ball could buzz if it gets past the first down, right? Like one of those things where you're at a restaurant and it buzzes when your table's ready. It starts buzzing and like, oh, it made it. Look, it's buzzing. Here's the ball. Look, ref.
Well, I don't want to go back to like the Senegal Morocco soccer thing that I brought up last week, but in soccer they have a chip in the ball and they have like they'll show it if it crosses the goal line or not, and they have the technology that can see is the ball fully across the goal line or not.
Same thing in tennis, right?
Yeah, in tennis they do that same thing where it looks fake. It's a digital representation. Why, if football has a chip in the ball to determine the GPS, when May is going for the first down, why can't it tell if he broke a plane of a yard marker?
There's only one answer. They don't want to do it that way. That's right.
True, Mike. You're right.
100% don't want that definitiveness there.
Yeah.
They've completely given, whether it's a first down or not, they've given that call to the side judges, because the side judge, even ahead of the referee, has the power to just call it a first down. And when we see things like when you see, remember the famous Eagles game where we know we stopped them short and the ref just came over and moved the ball forward a half yard before they measured it. We're like, what the hell?
Yes.
That is all about that guy thinking the spot was bad. He just wanted to make sure when that measurement came that it was a first down. And that's exactly what they're doing. They've taken it out of being a game of inches. It's a pass-fail game now. That side judge is making the determination in his head that's a first down or that it's not. And that's why, to your point, Cardone, they're being so lackadaisical with instead of getting on the yard line and going straight out, you're right. They kind of round it out now and they
don't run a straight line.
But it's because they're not concerned with the exact spot of the ball. They aren't. They're just gonna, if that's a first down, then that's a first down. We don't want any technology to tell us different, and we don't want this question. Just let's go. Yeah. Because Novak said it best. The chains were fine for 100 years.
Yep.
Just fine.
But isn't it funny that we have replay assist a couple times a game on some things that really don't matter that much, but on things that matter, they don't say a word?
Well, it's the playoffs. They do everything perfectly in the playoffs, just so you know.
Everything fine.
By the way, Cooper Kupp, in my opinion, was also short.
I'm
glad he got it, but I thought he was short too. They didn't take a lot of time to review that.
Was that the one where he fumbled afterwards too?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think it was a fumble, but I think he was short.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a fumble either. I just hate this idea that we are calling receivers down by contact all the time before they've completed the catch, as we heard Brendan Cooks did not complete the catch. So it's
they hopefully they have to look at that rule, because it needs to be more consistent, and you can't have a different set of rules whether or not you're on the 1 inch line or in the end zone. It's got to be the same, both.
So we have some questions this week. Peacock asks, much to Mike's question here, is it time to make conference championships played in a neutral site? And I think where Mike was going and where I would go here too is, guys, play the games the way they're supposed to be played. If you have home field advantage, have home field advantage. If there's snow, there's snow. It's that time of year.
That's why you have home field advantage. Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
No,
don't F this
never
up, NFL.
Do that.
Please do not do that. We've already effed up the Super Bowl. Let's not do this to the best weekend of the year, candidly. I mean, divisional round's better because there's more games, but the championship games that's the reason that you have them.
Yeah. It's got to mean something to have the number 1 seed and get there as the highest seed. It has to. You can't.
I mean, the Seahawks wouldn't have won without the 12th man, so I mean, that's
12.
not fair.
I mean, still, one of my favorite memories is going up to Green Bay, and Tom Coughlin with his frostbite cheeks. They won.
Yeah, I mean, going to San Francisco twice, that's a huge thrill to win on the road in the playoffs. That's a badge of honor, man.
And we didn't talk about this. I mean, the Patriots have been playing that up, much to what Novak alluded to. They've been calling themselves the Road Warriors, and then now they're turning into Warriors, come out and play, sort of like the cult movie. So now you have Vrabel saying that as he's going into the tunnel. You have them playing up this whole Warrior thing that they're doing.
Good.
They get their asses
good.
kicked.
They keep that going when they get smashed.
So Peacock asks, should we have unlimited coaches replay challenges in the playoffs? I actually like that idea. I could see someone abusing it. What I want to see actually implemented in the NFL is I want to see an assisted replay system that gets things right without anyone using challenges.
Yeah.
I think that's a pie in the sky thing. But we keep hearing about assisted replay. I still have no idea when it's triggered, who's calling this, when it actually makes an impact and when it doesn't. But unlimited coaches replay challenges in the playoffs, I could see, you get a Belichick guy in there and he's throwing challenge flags on any play that's borderline. I would not want to see that.
Absolutely freaking not would I want that.
No.
You'd have these clowns they'd be getting tackled and like standing up and going, challenge it. Like in the NBA when they get grazed by Cardone says like a fingernail and they're yelling at their coach to challenge it. I absolutely would not want this. You want to give them a fourth timeout, fine, or something like that, but absolutely not unlimited. The games would go on forever and these clowns would be calling for it every other play. That's
that's why the NFL. That's why the NFL would never do it. The games would be too long. It's just, how they hate that. No one likes watching football.
Man. Get these games over as fast as possible. Less football.
But maybe they should, Cardone, in the playoffs, not do the running clock.
So that I'd be obviously a fan of.
First game starts at 1:30, second game 7:30.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it. And no one would complain.
No one would complain.
The advertisements get more advertisements. The fans get more football.
We get more drinking in. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Peacock also asks, if we needed a win to save our life, who is coaching that game? Is it Rich Kotite, Ray Hanley, or Ben McAdoo?
My God.
Guys, I know Novak may disagree with me. I never thought Rich Kotite was a terrible coach. I'd take Rich Kotite over those other two.
Are you kidding me? He's the worst coach in the history of the league. I would take McAdoo in a heartbeat.
My answer is McAdoo.
Rich Kotite, the best thing he did with that Jets team is he used to line them up for the national anthem in number order. That was his big thing. So 1 to 99, they were lined up in order. And these idiots.
Yeah, I never knew that. Look at that.
I got to be next to you. I got to be next to
you.
Hang
on. Yeah. Wait, what number is
what leadership? Every one of those names made my skin crawl right there. I don't know even if I can answer this question. Ray Hanley, God. Went from a Super Bowl championship Parcells to that schmuck. No,
he was bad. Was he 1 year or two?
Two. No, he got 2 years. Yep.
And there's always rumors he was sucking off guys in a New Jersey rest area, but those are so.
Yep.
What the hell?
Scott, where is this going?
Oh my God!
It's been out there. That's all I'm saying.
Never heard that one.
Oh God!
Dark web.
Gotta know where to look.
So my friend Blake has a couple questions. He asked, which references, and Novak touched upon these too, which references are we going to get more sick of this week? I'm seeing ghosts or the end of Super Bowl 49?
I don't know.
You
talking about the Malcolm Butler play?
Yeah.
That one's going to really.
I think that one.
Yeah, that one's going to really.
I really don't
grind me.
I don't think they're going to lean into the I'm seeing ghosts too much. They may use that as part of the I think they're going to use it as part of the backstory, but I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to really lay into that.
Probably not, because then it would be mocking him on the Super Bowl cast, so they probably won't. But it'll be a lot of pregame stuff, and Orlovsky and all those clowns will talk about that. The leading up to. I don't think they'll do it on the broadcast, but I agree with you that in the game itself, we'll hear the Malcolm Butler, Marshawn Lynch thing.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, are there any players or coaches left from either of those teams?
Oh no, there's no way.
No.
So why do we care?
Nope. Doesn't matter.
The best part is Pete Carroll coming off his worst season ever as a coach. He's got to watch that play for the next 2 weeks.
He's got to watch
over and over again.
That's true. Good.
He's got to be reminded.
That to me is bigger than anything we're going to get torqued off about.
Yeah, I would not want to sit there and watch that play as a Seattle fan for 2 weeks. It would like Cardone said earlier, would absolutely drive the revenge train.
Oh yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it? How awesome would it be if they're down by 4 and they're inside the 5 with 30 seconds left? Like that part of it would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be pretty fun.
I'll say this from what I've seen as an NFL fan. That's probably the worst call I've ever seen from a coach.
Definitely. I don't
Ever.
think there's any debate.
Have you guys seen the reel of the Seattle offensive coordinator? It's not really him, but it's a guy like pretending to be the Seattle offensive coordinator on that play. And he's like, he's in the booth and he's got his headset on. He's like, all right. He's high fiving the guys around him. He's like, we're going to win a Super Bowl. We're going to win a Super Bowl. Hey, I know what we should do. We should throw a pass here. Right, guys? Right. Then he's like, hey, no, wait, no, don't do that. No, don't do that. No, give the ball to Marshall. Yeah. It's a good little skit.
But if you see there's actually video of Belichick and his assistants talking, and Belichick's basically resigned to the fact they're scoring. Yeah. And I think that's the best part about it,
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
So Mike also asks, and I don't know if we'll have a good answer for this, but 2 free agents that we're targeting for both the Giants and the Jets to sign. And I don't have any particular names because I think the Giants' best free agents will probably end up being ex-Ravens, and they'll probably be on the offensive line or in the defensive backfield.
I want to sign a new punter. So give me a new punter. Get rid of the fucking Scottish Hammer. Whoever is out there as a punter, that's not who you normally the position you normally look at as far as grabbing, but I want a new punter. So that's
Absolutely.
I'm not really joking. That's who I want.
I think the Jets will target that linebacker from the Lions, the long hair, Anzalone. To get a little weak, we have a very weak linebacking core, and I could see them going. He's a Glenn guy. I could see something like that, and I would like that. He's got a little bit of character, kind of the loves football kind of guy that I would love to have. So someone like that, I'd be happy with, and we could use some defensive back help too.
Not free agency, but I have heard, and I don't have sources, so this shouldn't sound like source material, but I've heard the Giants are more than a little bit interested in Max Crosby.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
That would be an interesting one, especially with having Carter, having Thibodeau.
Well, the part of getting Crosby would be trading Thibodeau or Okereke.
I was about to say you couldn't have a line with all those guys and Crosby. I mean,
there's not enough. Yeah,
there's not enough money to go around for all that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't think.
And then my friend Mike also asks, have we ever had a Lloyd Braun in our lives? So I don't know exactly what that means. I'll answer this first.
Just a nemesis?
I don't think I ever had a Lloyd Braun in my life, but I know Mike was there. I actually don't know if I knew Cardone and Novak at this point. There was a guy Steph and I would bring back and forth to Elmira to Charlotte. He lived in Charlotte at the time. And he used to come to our parties every once in a while. And one time he showed up at a Halloween party and he had a sexy nurse and a sexy devil. And Michael know this because all the wives at the party were like, holy cow, what is going on here? What's this guy doing? And he clearly had 2 strippers with him. And he wasn't Lloyd Braun to me, but he was a guy that actually he was a sort of a lonely guy, and he ended up thinking these strippers were into him. And so we're taking him back for Christmas. This was that Halloween when he was at the party. We're taking him back to Elmira for Christmas, and he pops up halfway through the ride and goes, guys, what do you think about this? And he shows us a diamond ring. And we're like, what's that for? He's like, oh, I'm going to ask so-and-so to marry him, who ended up being like I think she was the hot nurse at the Halloween party. We're like, Dave, she's a stripper. You don't want to do this. You really don't want to. And Steph actually talked him out of giving the girl the ring. And it ends up now, 25 years later or whatever it is, he's happily married to a non-stripper and he's doing well. But it was a guy that just, ended up sort of making some bad decisions that we helped through it. Not a Lloyd Braun at all, but that Halloween party was really funny for those that were in attendance because the women in the crowd were not fans of the the stripper showing.
Yeah. Was that the same guy, Scott? You remember one time I was coming to your house and I was walking between the cars to head to your front door, and a guy just came out from behind your garage and was like, "I don't think he's home." I was like, "What?"
Oh, I don't know. I remember that might have been my next door neighbor who was sort of.
I don't know. He just
What was that about?
creeping around. I don't know. No, apparently he was looking in the window or something. I don't know.
I'm not sure, like, what a Lloyd Braun is to Seinfeld.
Well-
Like you know.
I kind of know what he's saying, and it's almost like someone that like is constantly getting something that you didn't get, and like everyone thinks this person's like great, and it drives you crazy, kind of thing. That's how I see it. So I had two of those. I had one in high school, which I'm not going to mention the name, but Cardone knows this person definitely, so I'll tell him off air.
All right.
But he was always on a winning team, always like it just drove me crazy, even though he was a friend of mine in a way. So anyone that's listening who knows me in high school knows exactly what I'm talking about. And then I had one in my professional life also, which I have some professional friends that listen to this who know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I have two Lloyd Brauns in my life.
Do they offer you gum? Like, is that was part of it?
I don't think they've gone crazy at this point in their lives, but I would hope one of them would. That would have been nice.
Such a
the high
nice
school one.
boy.
Yeah, I'd say I have one close to, like, in my workspace, perhaps. Probably more not the original Lloyd Braun, because remember there were two different guys, right? The original Lloyd Braun was a little bit more like put together, you know what I mean? This was before the Dinkins mishap, with the name tags and stuff. And then the second Braun was the one who, went he kind of lost it, if you will, right? And was selling computers in the Costanza and Sons. Yeah, so. The guy being what I do, since I'm in sales, I feel like I have a guy that on my team is kind of like the second Lloyd Braun in a way, just making it, like sold another one, Mr. C, kind of like, just bullshit. He didn't do it. He didn't do that. Bullshit. Get out of here. Yeah.
I love that episode too, where he's like, "Yes, put another one on the board."
Yeah.
Mr.
Fetterman,
Fetterman,
selling our water pick.
wasn't it Mr. Fetterman? Mr. Fetterman, you need a computer?
Yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah. Mr. Fetterman, you want to buy a computer? No, why not? Okay, good answer. Hello, Mr. Vandelay.
Water pick.
Yeah, Mr. Vandelay, you'd like to buy a computer? 2 dozen. Oh, okay. And remember you hear the audio, the auto recording, like, if you'd like to make a call, please hang up. And he's talking to nobody. Georgie.
Costanza and Son.
Costanza and Sons.
You guys got anything else for tonight?
No, you got to close on that. That was awesome.
I know.
Oh, Lloyd Braun memory.
I do have one comment. I do love the instant karma of that jack-off Woolen on Seattle. Now, they ended up winning the game, so it'll be swept under. But him taunting the LA sidelines, and then the next play gets beat by Nakua for the touchdown. That was just awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
It was
the right
great.
call.
It was the right
I
call.
agree with the call.
No, it was the right call. This guy, you could chirp a little bit. This guy was just standing, like he just wouldn't leave the sideline.
Right in front of the ref.
Right in front of the ref. The ref was giving him time, like, get out of here, and he wouldn't do it.
That was great.
I was cheering for Seattle the whole game. I almost switched after that. Like, I was I hope the Rams come back and stick this up your ass now.
So what that play did was that evened out the fumbled punt.
Yeah,
that
it
gave
made the
Seattle the
fumble punt
touchdown.
not matter.
Because I was seeing today, of course, whoever wrote this thing, like, blah 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 cost LA a chance. I'm like, no. I mean, yes, that on that, but you could easily just point to Woolen and that, because the next play was a touchdown. So it was the same scenario. It wasn't a turnover, but you kept that drive alive by this guy chirping on the sidelines. So those two plays completely evened out in my mind.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching Seattle, and they get that fumbled punt. They go up by 11, right? And I'm thinking in my head, well, this is a professional football team. Like, they're about to snowball this team. Then the Rams come down and score in 3 plays. I'm like, when did the Giants put on the Seattle uniforms here? What the hell? The answering touchdowns were insane.
I think it's Mike who had the best point about taunting. And he said, don't flag taunting ever. Just give a guy a fine after the game.
A huge fine.
I really think that's what should happen, because the only problem with taunting that I have, it's so inconsistently applied. How many times during a game is someone barking at a sideline?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I mean, that one, if you're going to throw it, though, I agree with these
No,
guys,
no.
Scott. I mean,
it was a call. I think that's the right call. All I'm
that's
saying is
what
that
the rule is there for. But,
take it off the
sometimes
books.
yeah, that's how I would treat it. I would treat taunting, I might give the player a warning and say next time it's a penalty. But the fine is going to be massive.
What's rare, though, is that not only was it the next play, but it was the same guy that got beat.
Right at him.
You don't see that too often. Usually, usually what happens is the guy may even be pulled from the game, and then you get the token Salah camera shot of the guy on the sidelines after their team scores. Look at me, I'm doing like the camera thing on YouTube here. It's like I'm the camera guy. Like what you do, but this guy was beat.
Give me Woolen
on the play. With the next play, which was awesome.
Which I don't know if that was a coincidence or not, but if that's the play they called, and if McVay called that play and then said into Stafford's helmet, let's get him, go right at him.
Well, I was saying yesterday, and obviously you can't do this, but I was thinking, why not just target Nakua 20 plus times a game? I mean it. How do you not throw that? Just throw that guy the ball 20 times. 20. You're probably going to complete 15 of them.
Yeah.
It's obviously, that's not the way game plans are spun up and all that, and defenses eventually would do something. But I was thinking, why not just throw this guy the ball 20 times? I don't know until they just stop it.
Sooner or later, they're going to double cover him, and then you get your other guy wide open.
Right. Yeah. And he gets a lot of targets, but I was thinking even more. This guy should be getting. Yeah. He's 20 targets easily.
Dable would have thrown it to him 20 straight times until he got hurt. He would have kept throwing him the ball until he got hurt.
There were times I would watch them line up, and I'd see where Nakua is. Stafford would look at him first and then go over to Devontae Adams or someone like that. And then, he'd make the right decision a lot of the times. That's the difference between Stafford and other quarterbacks,
So I'm looking here. So Nakua 9 catches for 165, which is, he was targeted 14 times. I think that's not even enough. I still don't think 14 is enough. Guy should be getting 6 more at least.
I wonder how many Najigma got, because he was targeted a ton of times too.
Yeah. Wait, who was Scott? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Jackson Smith.
Yeah.
Not sure how many we targeted, but I just had the box score here. Now I gotta look.
Gotta know.
12. 12.
Oh, it's only 12.
Yeah.
How many catches did he have?
10. 10 for 12. 10 catches, 12 targets. He had 153 yards and a touch.
Yeah.
Nakua 9 on 14 targets. So just
a couple of
tremendous
frisbee
playmakers.
Catching dogs, man. Frisbee catching dogs out there.
Yep.
I've noticed that Diggs has not done a whole lot in these playoffs too. So you have Najigma and you had Nakua going off, and Stephon Diggs is pedestrian.
Yeah,
good.
By the way, here's a little thing. I'm just looking at the box score here. I hadn't done this, but Darnold's and Stafford's stats across the board were almost identical in yesterday's game, which is amazing. Their rating, I just got to put Darnold's rating was 127.8, Stafford 127.6, QBR 82.9, 81.5, and then the yards and the attempts and the complete three touchdowns, no interceptions, both of them, 374. They had the exact game. Crazy.
Well, and those two teams played twice this year, and didn't they have a differential of 1 point and 1 yard?
Yes.
In those two games.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. We say this
every year. Might have been the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we say how there's always a championship game that was a Super Bowl, and then we get a shitty game.
Yeah.
This might have been it. So
yeah.
Agree.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else tonight?
Good.
All right. We are the 3 Giant fans and the Jet Fan podcast. We will see you next week. Well, actually, we won't see you next week. We'll see you after the Super Bowl, most likely. Like I said, There might be something that happens that we have to do an emergency pod for, but I don't see it happening. So go Seahawks, I think we're all thinking.
Yeah.
That's it. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.
Super Bowl
Oh, man.
60.
Yep.
Take care.
Later.
See ya.